A lot of people ridicule Kihon or basics in karate, and they'll often say, how do you fight? By walking up and down, doing all this kind of stuff. But that's not what Kihon is. Kihon is skill learning. So it's exercises to be able to learn the skills in a good basic format. So let's just pick one. Let's pick Junzuki, and I picked Junzuki. Oizuki, the Shotokan version, tends to be square on, and therefore you don't get all the body skills. But Junzuki is a half-facing forward stance. Let's go through quickly as I can through the body. Okay, so the footwork. First of all, obviously you're learning how to make a proper front stance. When you go to step, you've got to pulse or push off the back foot to propel forwards. When you push off the back foot at the same time, you've got to learn to move the front foot quickly and pull from the front foot. So some people will pivot on the heel, some people will pivot on the ball of the foot to change the angle of that front foot. But actually, it's better if you can just pick it just 1 millimeter off the floor, so there's a kind of a run involved. So as you push off the back foot and you move the front foot and pull from the front foot. And as you pull from the front foot, as the legs pass, you then push off of that foot to propel you forwards. And you've got to make sure that you push the hips forwards and not upwards. Okay, so that's kind of the footwork and the leg work that's involved. Now, when you walk heel to toe. When you run, you normally go toe to heel. So when you're going to move quickly, as you would in Junzuki, you'll go ball to heel. That's the timing for your punch. So actually you don't move any part of the body for the punch till right at the last moment, and the timing is between when the ball of the foot touches the floor and when the heel touches the floor. That's going to give you the speed. Okay, so then you've got the hikate, so this pulling back that everybody keeps going on about, but by holding the upper body back. So when you kind of run forwards with the feet, you will hold the waist back. So the hips will turn and go forwards, and in so doing, with the bottom part of the body turning, the waist will be held back. And what that does is it builds up power in the psoas, the waist and the back and so on. So these are the most powerful muscles in the body, which are most often forgotten with karate. They're obsessed with the hips, but it's the waist that's going to throw that punch, not the hips. So you hold it back and kind of form a cross in the end, so that your body's at one angle, where your legs and hips are at the opposite angle. And as you release it, that releases the power from the waist. Remember, this is between when the ball of the foot touches the floor and the heel touches the floor. Releases the power from the waist, and as the punch gets to the opponent, that's when you employ the hips. So as you touch the opponent, your feet will pulse, vibrating the hips. That's connected to the wrist, and that gives you the hammer and the screwing motion of the fist to get the penetration into the opponent. You don't want to use the hips too early. To use the hips too early, all your force is spent. Whereas when you release the waist to throw the punch, then vibrate the hips to give you the penetration, that gives you the hammer and the screw that will penetrate into the opponent. Really important. You can add on to that the use of the spine and the head, because apart from holding the waist back, you can also just hold the head back just slightly, and that will create a slight backward bow in the spine. So then you've got, between this ball of the foot and the heel touching the floor, you've got the bow of the spine being released to go forwards. Then you've also got the power that's been held back in the waist is released as well. And then finally, as the punch is about to land, you've got the pulsing of the feet, the vibrations of the hips, and the penetration, the hammer and the screw of the punch. So you're actually learning a lot, aren't you? You're learning the footwork, you're learning how to move forward, you're learning how to change the angles of the feet dynamically and use them. You're learning the timing of the feet as well to the hand, so that the upper body only happens in a very short period of time. You know, so force is mass times acceleration, speed is distance divided by time. So the longer the distance, the shorter period of time, and the catapult effect through the body using the waist, using the spine, and finally using the hips. There's a lot to learn in those basic exercises. So you're learning all the dynamics of movement and punching in one simple exercise. So it is something well worth learning.